those bullies from the PFC.
I don't know.
Classify as a plant.
Hold on. I want to go back to this Final Fantasy thing because I've done some research. And apparently, 3 releases once a year, about 20 hours each, roughly 60 hours of total gameplay. This is from what I found. I can't find anything about some bullshit 40-hour
So
episode.
it is actually like chapter 1, it ends with Air of Steph.
Yeah.
And then the second game is going to start.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is saying. Now, okay, 20 hours, I get that that's reasonable enough, but, you know, from my perspective, I would prefer, you know, if I buy this game, I want to be able to play the 60 hours of it. And I get that it's data restriction, it wouldn't look as nice, blah, 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 it'll be over 100 gigs. But you know what? That's not my problem, right? That's not my problem. And I understand that it's a bit unreasonable, but at the same time, you know,
your problem then is just deciding whether or not you're okay with how they release
like, this is just it, right? I buy the game when it comes out, and then I beat the 20 hours of it. Let's say I do that in a month. And now I have to wait 11 months. After 11 months, who knows if I'll still be interested? I won't know what's going on. What if I'm a new player? Or what if, you know, this story is a little bit different? What do I have to now go back and play 20 hours again because I forget what the fuck happened? Now I gotta go look, I'll go online and research it. Like, fuck that, man. I just want to be able to sit down, buy the game, and then beat it and finish it. You know what I mean? And that's...
It doesn't matter.
It's different. It's new. It's different. It's new. I don't like it.
No, there's a legitimate argument there. That can definitely be pretty annoying. Okay, and
no, Sheldon, not an honest question.
I see what you're saying.
The
logical, it's an RPG. You want to play it in once.
Right, and the logical thing to do here would be to wait 3 years and just buy it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, Sheldon, listen to me. Listen to me.
What?
Listen to me. I have an honest question. Why do you care?
Because I'm a big fan of RPGs, Rocky.
Alex, don't try to talk over Sheldon.
When I bought Ni no Kuni for the PS3, I sat down and beat it in a week. That's how I play games.
Is that game any good?
It's fucking amazing.
Awesome.
I'll admit, I am.
Took me 60
not
hours.
one of those gamers who I don't get a game and just sit down and beat it in however long, but I play a game and I nurse it. So I'll play a game for one day I'll sit down and I'll play a game for a couple hours, and then on the next day I'll sit down and play a different game for a couple hours and just juggle a number of different games. I don't beat games very quickly at all because my thing is that I don't want to beat it fast. I want to take a while to beat the game because I want to be able to come back to it and have new levels to play.
Right. I understand that, but at the same time, when we're talking about an RPG, a game that's very narrative driven and narrative heavy.
That is true.
I think it gets difficult to juggle that kind of shit, right?
I suppose that is true. And
you
I don't
know,
play
with an action
how would
game,
you feel about the Hobbit movies being split off?
Well, the Hobbit movies don't take me 20 hours to complete a movie.
And they have a reason to do it. I mean, honestly, the reasoning behind it.
I get it. It makes perfect sense.
That they're trying to make enough money to complete the other game. And they're an older company. They're being beat up by newer companies that are making different games.
And it's not my problem that their company is shit. That's not my problem.
I mean, like Borderlands. Look at Borderlands. They made 2, and they made the pre-sequel. The pre-sequel was originally supposed to be a DLC for the second game, but they thought, we're going to make a short game so we can come up with a better game in a couple of years.
Yeah, but that's not their strategy.
Here's something I'm going to say.
Yeah, it is.
Their strategy is just to take the game and split it into 3 parts. Because maybe they don't have the money. Or maybe I think it's not that bad here. Everyone's kind of blowing it out of proportion. Sorry, Alex, but I just want to finish this train of thought.
Sorry,
it's definitely a technical thing, right? I can imagine that this first part of the game being 20 hours with the graphical fidelity, it's gonna be 30 fucking gigs. It's gonna be ridiculous, right? It's gonna be massive. Think about it though. If they release this game in one big chunk, that's going to be 90 gigs. Maybe that's a little too high. Maybe 60 gigs to 90 gigs. That's a little bit ridiculous to ask your customers to finish downloading all that, right?
A lot of people use digital downloads now.
Right. It's a little extreme.
Logistical nightmare.
Exactly. But at the same time, if this wasn't an RPG, I wouldn't be complaining, but it is, so I'm complaining. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're coming from.
Well,
Sean.
I'm gonna say an argument to the "well, it's not my problem" comment. Like, if the company is struggling and they're doing something that they think is gonna help them financially get out of a rut, I mean, like it. In some respects, as a gamer, it is kind of your problem, because if a company that makes games that you like a particular game franchise, and that franchise is struggling, then you should do what you can to help support that company.
Yeah, I think I'm
Well,
different now.
what if that company keeps making games for that franchise, but every time they make a new game for that franchise, people don't like it. It's not good anymore. Then why should I be expected to support them if I don't like what they're doing anymore?
Well, if what they're making isn't good anymore, then don't support them. But the thing is that, like, if what they're making is actually relatively good, it's just not a particular, like, I wouldn't complain too much about the way that they're choosing to sell the game. Like, what you're complaining about is the fact that they're choosing to sell it in installments. Like, if that's going to help them as a company survive, I wouldn't complain too much, so long as the game that they produce is actually a good game.
I mean, here's the deal. They're remaking a classic that everyone loves with these beautiful graphics, but at the same time, they're remaking the game with a different battle. It's not the same game that you guys remember, and part of the argument is, well, of course it's not the same game. We're in the year 2015. You want them to just make a carbon copy with prettier graphics?
Yeah, and it's a
silly.
remake, not a remaster.
It's easy to make it. That's the other thing, though, too, is I would actually give them props for changing it up, because making a carbon copy with prettier graphics is probably the easier route to go, and they could do that.
And it's cheaper. Right?
They could take the cheap, easy, safe route, or they could, be creative and actually do something that could end up being better. You don't know. What if it turns out to be better than the original? In which case,
and that is totally true.
It's creative risk. Like, as a creator, it's good to take risks when you want to take risks as a creator, because that's how you find really good stuff. You don't find the really good stuff without changing anything, without trying anything different.
Mm-hmm. I wish Square's really funny because, a lot of people like to say that, but I think they can do both, though. I think they can keep making games that worked traditionally really well for them, that still have a market, a huge market out there that people will buy those kind of games, like the active time battle system, in old RPGs like Final Fantasy IV, or since the original Final Fantasy, this turn-based kind of thing, all the way up to, their contemporary Final Fantasy 15. This more action RPG kind of system. And hey, man, if you want to make Final Fantasy VII, remake it with that kind of battle system, I'm cool with that to a certain extent. But also, I'd like to see them make more games with this turn-based battle system that so many of us older dudes, really appreciate, and a lot of younger kids are getting into. They're playing the older games and saying, this is
or
great.
you could make a game where you can choose between these two different fighting styles.
That is brilliant.
Whether you prefer to do real-time
That'd be amazing,
combat
because you could play the game twice.
That would be really
You could
cool.
play the game twice.
But then I understand why you wouldn't want to do that, because that's just, you're making two games, basically, is what you're doing.
And I get the logistical reasons. However, it would be
it would be
like
brilliant.
I get that it would be a really kind of an arduous sort of undertaking to do that. However, it could be a really cool thing for people. Like, it could work out really well to their advantage, because then they can appeal to people who like turn-based and people who like the real-time combat, and sort of make both groups happy at the same time.
Absolutely.
From what I've seen, a lot of people actually like the new action battle system.
I mean, I haven't played the demo for 15, but apparently I've heard it's really good. The battle system, anyways, the gameplay portion.
Yeah.
So maybe
Even
it'll work
FF7
well.
Remakes looks even faster than 15.
It does. I mean, who knows? Who knows, really? But I do think it's a little bit. It's not what the problem is. Everyone's expectations. They were expecting when they saw a remake. They were expecting this remake, a carbon copy with prettier graphics or whatever. Maybe some more story elements, maybe a longer game. But
but they didn't say remaster. They said rework. That's
but
they say rework
like,
or remake. I'm pretty sure it was the title of the game is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Exactly.
This is
It's
why
not a remaster, it's a remake.
This is too why, like, whenever I have this mentality about everything that I get into. It doesn't matter what it is. Whenever something new is coming out that I'm curious about, like, I try to give everything kind of the benefit of the doubt and not have super high expectations for anything. Because when you don't bother trying to expect anything out of something, then all you can serve to do really is be pleasantly surprised by what you get.
Yeah.
Not always.
Well, not always. If it's really shitty, then it's still disappointed.
For instance, For instance, I'm a big fan of like the old Green Hornet series, and when they were saying that they're going to make a Green Hornet movie, I really wanted to like it. I was trying everything to give it a chance. I was like,
That
okay,
movie
I'm
is
not
terrible.
gonna judge it. I'm not gonna judge it. I'm just gonna watch it, and I'm gonna, and it was shit.
I'll admit, I have a really hard time giving the benefit of the doubt to the new Suicide Squad movie, seeing the designs they've got for Joker and Harley. Ugh, those designs make me cringe.
I mean,
I like the new Joker's voice, though.
I think expectations have a place. I mean,
This-
if you have low expectations and you go into something and it's still shit, like Alex said, then you're not going to like it either way. It's not going to do anything for you. But if you went into that same thing with high expectations, you're probably going to see it as being even worse than if you wouldn't have. Is what
Exactly.
I
So that's like, if you keep low expectations for everything, then you don't get disappointed as often when stuff doesn't do well. But when it does do well, then you get to be all like, "Woo, this is awesome."
But then again, if you come into something with high expectations and it turns out to exceed those expectations, it's kind of like a gamble, right?
I suppose so.
That's
Like
kinda interesting.